rare adventures of Biggles. Returning from Singapore in the new amphibian, Bertie keeps a lookout for the Sumatran, which he expects to see steaming south. But there's no sign of the ship, and when a definite search reveals nothing, Bertie becomes anxious for her safety. Tug, flying nearby in a Bristol freighter, proves his fears justified. Below in the lagoon of a tiny atoll is the Sumatran, moored close beside a strange ship. The two flyers hurry on their way to Dolphin Island to acquaint Biggles with the news.
I hate to say it, old trout, I possibly loathe to say it, but I'm afraid the old tub's been pinched by the rebels.
Well, how can you be sure if you didn't go down to check on the other ship?
Well, I must admit that's rather a difficult question, old boy, but...
I suppose there was no danger of any ek guns on the island,
Would you have gone down, Ginge, if there was any danger of ek?
No, I suppose not, but I'd have liked to know definitely what was going on.
Well, maybe we were wrong, but on this job there's been such an insistence that we protect our kites at all costs that we didn't think it were worth the risk.
You were quite right, too. The rebels hold most of these islands, and if that weren't in their hands, I can think of no reason why life should put into it.
And, there was that other old tub. What do you make of that?
She could have been British.
It's most unlikely. Too close to the trouble zone. I understand that British ships are scrupulously keeping clear of the entire area.
Which means it must have belonged to those horrible rebel bounders.
Oh, it was a pretty big ship,
Yeah, so's the Sumatran. It's quite possible they have more like ours. And since they've been equipped with planes and a handful of naval vessels, they must have created havoc amongst the shipping along the coast there.
Yeah.
Now, I've no doubt that where a vessel seemed useful to them, they simply commandeered it.
Then you've given the Sumatran away.
Well, like Bertie, I hate to admit it, but it seems the only answer. It would be an awful slug to lose the ship, but worse than that, Light Chai and his blokes are aboard. I feel as if I've handed them on a platter to the enemy.
Is there anything we can do about it, Biggles? If you want to have a crack at retaking her, I'll be in it.
No, she's too far away for that, Tug. Besides, we have quite enough on our hands with tonight's operation.
What's on tonight? More fun and games?
We're going to rescue Algy.
I say, really? Wizzo! Oh, we Ulysses arrived back just in time. You'd never have pulled it off without us, you know.
You won't be in it, Bertie. You see, once in your life, I find you too valuable to risk on such a dangerous stunt.
Oh, now, look here, old sausage. You can't come that belly nonsense at this stage of the game. I mean to say, after you've been so rude to me for years...
you and Tug must carry on with the rubber shift.
Oh, well, can't do that, old bean. Couldn't possibly do that. I haven't a kite. Tug brought back one of the Pantechnicons, but I flew up the new Gosling, the runabout job. So, as there's no rubber for me to carry back...
You'll fly back with Tug and bring an empty freighter up from Singapore. We may not pull this off tonight, and I want to be sure that you two chaps and Pat are free to carry on with the transport job, no matter what happens to us. You understand that, Bertie? If Algy and I don't come back tonight, it'll be your responsibility to have the rubber moved.
Heaven help the operation if that happens.
Precisely. I'm not the man for the job. I'd make a frightful bally hash of it. Whereas in a good scrap, we Ulysses are positively on our own. If you don't take us with you tonight, you're an absolute moral to prang the whole affair. And you won't come back, and I'll bungle the rubber do, and, oh, baked potatoes, the possibilities are ghastly.
Yes. Well, nevertheless, you aren't coming.
Sizzling sausages, you're an argumentative blighter.
What is the stunt, Biggles? Sounds exciting.
We're going to raid the rebel headquarters at Victoria Point.
Sizzling sausages? I mean sizzling bally sausages. What with? I mean to say, aren't the blighters sort of en masse at Victoria Point?
Yes, old boy, they are, but I hope the mess will be rather knocked about after tonight's episode. Now then, you'll have to excuse Ginge and me. We must grab a spot of shut-eye. Ayert's parading his commandos for us at 10 o'clock.
Holy cow!
What on earth? Ayert, what the blazes have you been doing to your blokes?
Look at Ayert himself. He's as bad as the rest of them.
One like white-faced, we got white-faced. White paint all over face. Pretty ugly white face. Pretty ugly.
It's ugly, all right. White faces and black bodies. It's enough to scare the daylights out of a bloke.
Yes, but what's the idea? What made you paint yourselves like this?
Plenty clever idea, this one. Prince Lally, he say rebels see white face, Ah!
The suggestion was mine, Inspector. The natives on the coast are extremely superstitious. I felt it would heighten the effect of our raid if the pirates were painted in this way.
You wouldn't have to be superstitious to be frightened by them. White commandos paint their faces black for a night raid, so why shouldn't dark blokes paint theirs white?
Faces are blackened to lessen the chance of being seen. And these fellows will stand out in the dark.
Have I displeased you with my interference? You were asleep and I was trying to help.
Yes. No, of course I'm not displeased, Lella. Their faces will stand out, but after all, that may be a good thing. It will mean there's little chance of us shooting our own men in the dark. I say, and you look horrible enough to frighten anyone, Ayot.
Oh, white face all the time, horrible, Tuan.
Yes. Your men all armed and ready?
Yeah, good fight come, plenty happy. Plenty prang, plenty gun. Orang, good fight.
Yes, I see what you mean. Well, then take them down to the Lotus and let's get underway. There'll be more than enough fighting to make them happy tonight. Well, we're in your hands here, Ayot. You know what I want?
Ayat no Tuan. We find little river not far Victoria Point. Oh, leave Lotus a river, walk quick time through jungle.
I think I know the river he means. It is perhaps 2 miles north of Pak Chan. Be an excellent place to leave the boat.
I see. Any settlement there?
Oh, no, it is a virgin jungle. There's no need to concern yourself, Inspector. Ayot knows well what you require.
Oh, this river bar goose. Ayat, lie chai hide there plenty time from Ingeris bun gunboat.
Really? Well, in that case, should do fine, I suppose. Well, take us there as fast as you can, and then put your men ashore. We don't want to waste any time.
You ready, Tuan? Hide boat good. Throw plenty branches over him. No one see him.
That's the idea. We don't want our way of escape cut off. Now then, Ayat, here's my plan.
Yeah, Tuan.
I want you to be sure you understand it and pass it on to your men.
Ayat understand who bar goose. Tau, tida, tau. Plenty fight. Cut throat with prang. Oh, bar goose.
Bloodthirsty blighter, but there'll be all of that, don't worry. And it must be done according to plan. Otherwise, the whole operation may fall through. Do you follow?
Oh, Tuan Bachara? Ayat, listen.
Well, our object is to rescue Lacey, Tuan.
Ah.
Now, you and I will look after that, Ginge.
Roger.
Now, from here, we'll move very quietly through the jungle until we reach the village. Once we're there, I'll place your men in the best hitting positions, Ayat.
Yeah, Tuan.
And they'll wait for my order to attack. Is that clear?
Yeah.
I want no movement until I've given the order.
Yeah, Tuan. I tell these 2 men.
Right. Now, when I do give the order, you and your blokes can have all the fight you like.
No.
I want you to create a diversion while we rescue our friend.
I tell them to fight that bagoose.
Right. Now, if you're clear, pass it on to them, will you?
Yeah.
But the important thing is that we have absolute quiet until the order to attack. You follow? We
Yeah, boy.
must catch that village asleep and unprepared. Nothing must happen to disturb them and make them ready for us. If they're on the alert, the raid will be a complete flop. Yes, and we'll lose our one chance to rescue Algy.
Lacey. I say, Lacey. You awake?
Yes, I've been lying here wondering what time tomorrow our heads are to be chopped off.
Yeah, I can't sleep either. It must happen tomorrow, you know.
I know, we can't expect such luck a second time.
For that reason, I've been considering something you suggested this morning. Remember talking about a bid for escape?
Yes, but your gammy leg wipes all thought of that. Even if we did get out of this jail, we'd need speed to cut through the village.
That was in daylight. May be difficult in the dark. No one about, there'd be a chance, even if we had to move slowly.
You mean you're prepared to make a break?
Not only prepared, my boy, but I'll be darned disappointed in you if you don't insist on it.
Good man. Well, getting out of the prison should be easy enough. There's only one guard on, isn't there?
Yes, I expect he's sitting at the end of the corridor. There's a light up there.
What sort of a light is it? This would be easier in the dark.
I can't see from here. The natives usually use those burning knots of wood as torches. He's probably has one of those.
We'll hope he doesn't bring it with him. Now, we'll batter on the door and force him to come down to us. Once he's in, you keep him talking while I move into him in the dark. Clear?
Yeah, so simple it must work. Well, come on. Let's make this hullabaloo.
Roger.
Guard! Hey, guard! Guard! Come here! Guard! 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 It's all right. It's all right. He's coming.
Good.
Why you make big noise, huh? This night time. You sleep night time.
How the blazes do you expect me to sleep on this filthy mattress? Come over here and look at it.
Filthy mattress? Me not understand.
You'll understand this, though.
Look out, a torch. It's fallen on the mattress.
No, don't worry about that. Let's get out of this, quickly.
Confound it! Fire's given the alarm. Double back, Lazy. They're coming round those huts.
All right, we'll have to hurry, Major. Can you possibly...
I'm out of it, old man. With my leg, I'll never escape now. You go off by yourself.
No fear. Come on, up on my shoulder.
Hey, look out. Put me down, you fool.
No, we'll see if I can run fast enough for both of us.
Put me down, Lazy. You'll never make it carrying me. Put me down.
Algy staggers under Marling's weight as the rebels race towards him. Can the Englishman escape with such a handicap? What will happen to Biggles' plan now that the village is thoroughly aroused? There'll be much excitement in the next thrilling chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles. Adventures of Biggles. Not knowing that Biggles and his band of pirate commandos are already approaching Victoria Point, Algy and Major Marling decide to use the cover of night and escape from their prison. They overpower their guard, and although his burning torch set fires to the cell, they slip out without being seen. But the wooden walls of the building are soon blazing, and in no time the village is awake. Marling's wounded leg prevents him from hurrying, so despite his protests, Algy lifts his companion onto his shoulder and turns to run from the rebels, who are already racing towards them.
Oh, don't be such an idiot, Lazy. You'll lose both lives doing this. Put me down and make your own escape.
Not going to leave you to the devils. Might dodge them if we duck down here.
You won't dodge them. They're gaining on us. Leave me to face them while you get clear.
Not in your life. A duck between these huts. If we can give them the slip.
That's no use. There are more of them ahead.
We can cut through to the right. Still a chance.
There's no chance while you're carrying me. The whole damn village is awake now.
Whoa, look out! I tripped. I'm falling.
That settles it. I'm finished. You run while there's a chance.
There's no chance now, Marling. We're sunk. Both of us.
How far are we from the village, are you?
Maybe half-mile, Tuan.
Right, then hold your men for a moment. We'll have to take stock.
Kasi berhenti. Bilang. Kasi berhenti.
Why do you want to stop, Inspector? Would it not be better to move straight into the village now we're so close?
No, we're up against such odds that we must work rigidly to plan. If I leave your men here for a few minutes, Ayot, can you keep them quiet?
They know they're close to village, Tuan. They not make noise. But they come to fight. They not like wait hours work.
Well, they'll have to put up with it for a while. I want to move ahead to recce the village. You and Lala will come with me, Ginge. We'll pick the best vantage points from which to attack, and then we'll come back to the blokes.
Whoa. We not go in and fight.
You'll go in and fight, but when I give the order. First, I want to range your men along the edge of the jungle so that they can attack from a number of points at once. That way, we shall achieve the most advantage from our surprise, you understand?
Yeah.
Now then, I'm relying on you. Will you do your best to keep your chaps calm now?
I try, Tuan. But men like fight, Goose not like wait.
All right, do what you can. We'll be back soon. Come along, Ginge, Lala. I want to make sure that the village is quiet and sleeping.
So, you thought you would escape? You do not answer my questions, and yet you think you escape.
We would have too if your devils hadn't been so keen on bayonet practice. It was only the Major's wounded leg that stopped us.
No, you should have let me be, Lacey. You needn't have been captured.
You are both captured, and this time you will have no chance of further escape. There will be no leniency which will allow you to live again.
Leniency? Ha! Listen to the man. The only reason you held out execution for attack was that you had other things on your mind and you couldn't enjoy it properly. You put it off until you had time to relish the full flavor of it.
Yes, perhaps that is the truth. What you say, Major Marling. I thought tomorrow there would be time. But why wait?
Sounds as if the geese are going to be cooked.
We have torches, and there is the fire of the jail you have destroyed. These illuminations will make your death a pretty sight. Yes, you shall die tonight, and I shall enjoy it completely.
I say, what's that glow in the sky? You can see it through the trees.
Yes, looks like the glow of a fire. Rather odd to have such a blaze at this time, isn't it?
Could it be a fire built to deter wild animals from entering the village? That is a custom in some districts.
It'd be a whopper of an animal to need a fire that size.
There's more to it than that, I think. Come on, let's push on to the outskirts and see what's happening now.
We've flopped in one respect, Biggles. That village certainly isn't asleep.
No, by Jove. I'd say every man in the place is wandering about. But why? It's after midnight.
The building which is on fire seems to attract much attention. Perhaps it was the blaze which woke them.
Yes, it may have been. And yet, although they're by the fire, they don't seem to be actually concerned with it. You know, it's almost as if some sort of ceremony is being conducted by its light.
Yeah. Yes, there is. Look how they're making a circle for that big chap who's stripped to the waist. Good grief, he's carrying an axe.
By Jove, there's a block on the ground. That big fellow's an executioner.
Papa! There is my father, he lives. See, he stands with another white man. I thought he was dead, but he lives.
By Jove, that's Algy. It's beginning to line up now, the executioner, the block.
Inspector, my father lives. He is there close to us. Soon when we attack the village, we shall rescue him.
Don't be too excited, Lala. It'll be some minutes before we can attack, and by that time your father and Algy may have been executed.
Executed? I do not understand. All I see is my father.
Now all is ready. You were right, Major Marling. This is something that gives me great joy. I am glad you tried to escape tonight. This way I enjoy it more.
Isn't it odd how these savages like to pretend they're civilized, Lacey?
Savages?
Observe this specimen very carefully. Outwardly, it doesn't look unlike a European officer. Absurdly overdressed, of course, but basically it's pure animal, and it can't resist showing it.
Animal! How dare you call fire attack animal?
Oh!
I wish I could make you suffer for that.
You die first, old man. For that you die first. Executioner, you speak Bahasa Garris?
Yeah, understand.
I wish these dogs to know what I say. Drag the old one forward, throw him on the block, and chop with your axe. Chop hard so that I see his head fall.
No, let me go first.
Forget it, Lazy. So long, old man. All right, take your hands off me. I'll go to your block myself.
Swine. Now watch, Lacey. Watch so you will see what will happen to you. I raise my hand. Now I drop it.
Lacey! The executioner! Someone shot him!
It's Biggles! Get to your feet, Marling! It's our blokes, I'm sure of it!
You've wrecked everything, Lala. Why did you have to shoot?
My father! He would have killed my father!
But you've given the game away. Our blokes aren't here for the attack.
By Jove, aren't they? Here they come. Ayot, spread your blokes out. Send them in, but spread them out.
No, wait, Tuan. Too long. We come. Now we kill. Mati.
Ayot! Ayot, come back. Confound you, man. Come back so that we can order this. Ayot, come back.
It's no use, because the fight's on. There may not be any order about it, but she started.
Here they come, Marling. It is our blokes. I knew it was.
And Lala! Thank heaven! I didn't know what had happened to the boy.
Papa! Oh, Papa, are you hurt? When I fired, my hand was so unsteady.
If that was your shot, it saved my life, lad. Now, quickly, untie these ropes from round my wrist.
Hello, Algy. Sorry we cut it so fine, old son.
You're in time, that's the main thing. Get me untied, will you? I want to get into this fight.
Well, the fight's out of hand, I'm afraid. Ayot's men are scattered right through the village. I don't know if they're winning or losing.
Well, what does it matter? We've done what we came for. Now we've freed Algy and the Major, we can beat it for the jungle and call Ayot off.
I won't be beating it for a while, young fella. There's a score we have to settle. Eh, Leslie?
By Jove, yes. Give us a couple of guns and we'll see you later.
Now, wait a minute, Algy. This isn't a picnic.
It's our chance to get fire tuck, and no one's going to stop us. Now, let's have those guns.
I'll regret it all my life if I leave here without killing that brute. Where the blazes is he gone?
He was definitely heading down here when we saw him. He can't be far away.
We're almost at the river. Of course he's gone out to the ships. Cowardly swine. Knew we'd been after him and he's run for cover.
Have you two chaps settled your score yet?
Not yet. You'll have to give us time yet.
Now listen, this nonsense gone far enough. Forget fire tuck and clear out. If we don't now, we may not be able to.
You pull off the pirates. We'll follow in a few minutes.
Yes, pull off the pirates. They've been trying to corner Ayot ever since we attacked. Every time I talk to him, he yells like a madman and tears back into the fight. And can't get sense out of anyone.
The whole place is chaos. Our blokes are spread from one end of the village to the other. We'll never get them together.
Well, that's your pigeon. Do what you can while we find some means of getting out to those ships. Fire attacks aboard one of them.
Hello, they don't look as if they're keeling over.
By Jove, they aren't. The flood must have settled and the river gone back to its bed. The ships have righted themselves.
Good grief, they're shelling the village. They're set now and they can use their guns.
And with our blokes spread out the way they are, they'll be slaughtered. Come on, forget fire tuck and help me get these chaps clear.
For a moment, Algy and Marling hesitate, and then they hurry back into the village with Biggles. Can they control the excited natives? Will the shelling from the ships turn the tide against them? Don't miss the thrills in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Air Adventures of Biggles. Biggles' raid on the rebel headquarters has been successful, but Ayot's native commandos are completely out of control. They're mad with the excitement of the fight and are spread from one end of the village to the other with no semblance of order in their savage attacks against the rebels. At first, Biggles is irritated by the lack of discipline, but when he hears the crump of a naval gun, he realizes that tragedy may result. The temporarily grounded ships are now riding upright in the water and directing their fire against the village.
It's fire attack. The brute made his escape to the ships and now he's bringing their guns into it.
Oh, but surely this is a foolish action. If he indiscriminately shells the town, many of his own men will be killed.
What I saw of fire tuck, that wouldn't concern him in the least. As long as he kills some of us, he'll be happy.
He'll kill all of us if we don't hurry. We must drag those fool pirates out of it.
That's easily said, but do you know where to find Ayot?
When I last saw him, he was where the fighting was most savage.
Yeah, that's where we'll find him now. Come along.
I would like to get my hands on fire tack before clearing out.
There's no time for personal feuds. If you and Algy don't come now, Marling, I'll leave you here.
Oh, of course, sorry, old man. It's just that we were treated to a rather unpleasant show of bestiality.
We'll come, Biggles. What do you want to do?
Fan out and search for Ayat. Find him and insist that he pull his natives back into the jungle. Even if you have to force him at the point of the gun, he must get his men clear.
Those guns are heavy on Algy. There must be 2 or 3 of them firing now.
I know. And in a few minutes, every gun they'll have will be pelting into the village. No one will get out alive.
But we can't clear out with Ayat.
Look out, Jins! That mob coming this way. We'll be caught by them.
Duck between the huts. I don't think they've seen us.
It isn't us they're worried about. It's something behind them. They're running for their lives.
It's Ayat! It's Ayat and some of his blokes. Gosh, they're murdering those rebels.
They're chasing them. That's the trouble. If we don't stop them, we'll lose the blighter. Ayat! Ayat! Come here! Ayat! Ayat!
It's no use yelling, Algy. He'll never hear you. Move aside and I'll stop him.
How? Careful, Jins. That knife of his...
I'll go under it. A flying tackle will bring him down. Stop fighting, you fool! Keep that knife clear.
Okay, Jins, I've grabbed his arm. Ayat, it's me, Lacey. Stop fighting and listen to me.
What? Tuan,
Yes.
I yet not understand. You friend, you throw Ayat to ground, try to kill. I yet not like friend who kill.
I didn't try to kill you, but we had to stop you somehow. You'd have gone bolting after those rebels.
Rebel? Yeah, I yet kill rebel. Where they go?
Hold on. Don't go tearing off again. You've killed enough for one night.
Oh, Tida, take help from Ayat. I find the rebel I kill.
Kill
Martin.
nothing. Stay still and listen to me for a moment. Fire Tuck shelling the town from his ships. The whole place will be blown to pieces.
Fighting, oh, Bargoose, fighting. Tuan, stop talk to Ayat. Let him fight.
The fighting must stop. Don't you understand, man? You'll be killed if you stay here.
Oh, Tida.
The village will be wiped out.
No matter, Ayat, fight. Find a rebel. Fight, yeah.
Get down, quickly, the fragments!
Shells like that one will be falling everywhere. You must collect your men and pull them out.
No, men, fight. Not listen to Ayat.
Make them listen.
Do you want all your blokes to be slaughtered?
Oh, Tida, no, Tuan. Ayat not want old men killed.
These aren't your men. They're Lai Chai's. What will Lai say when he hears you've allowed his gang to be wiped out? Now pull those men together and force them out of the village.
There aren't many here, Ayat. You sure you pulled them all out?
Yeah, Tuan. Ayat find all who live. Others die.
Yes, it's been an expensive night. Well, if we're all out, we'll make our way back to the Lotus.
My father! Where is my father?
He's about somewhere, surely. Marling! Major Marling, are you there?
He is not with us.
Oh, hold on, Lala. No need to panic. Who's with the Major in the village?
I haven't seen him since we split up, Lala. Remember? Ginge and I went one way to look for Ayat, while you and your father went another. We parted company near the jail.
Yes, but soon after that, we saw you with Ayat, and my father went towards you while I joined the inspector.
We didn't see him. He must still be in there, Biggles.
Oh, he'll be killed. I'm going to him.
Not by yourself. We'll find him together. Take me to the spot where you last saw him.
Ginge, grab a Tommy gun and go with them. If they are lost, we'll be back where we started.
Roger.
Oh, we fight some more, Tuan. Oh, Bargoose, I tell men
You tell your men to go back to the Lotus. Ginge and Algy can do all that needs to be done in there.
Watch out for those buildings, Lala. You'll be roasted if a wall falls on you.
The whole blooming place seems to be on fire. And the shelling has done the job properly.
He was limping in this direction when I saw him. Oh, but there are so many bodies.
But there's one in white ducks a little further on.
That'll be the Major. He was wearing ducks.
Papa! Papa, they've killed him.
Not on your life. Look, he's turning on his side. He's seen us.
What the blaze are you fellows doing here? Have you cleared the village yet?
Oh, we came for you. Oh, Papa, what has happened? You're wounded again.
Yeah, rather late this time. The shell splinter grazed it and brought me down. Not much, but I can't walk, confound it.
We'll have to carry you.
Don't be such an idiot. You were fools to come back for me. I'm not going to have you endangering your life.
Not so much talk, Major. You take his legs, Lala. And be careful with them. And get a move on. There are some of the rebels. They've spotted us.
That settles it definitely. Put me down and clear out.
Between these huts, Lala. The jungle's just through here.
Didn't you hear me, Lacey? Don't be such an...
I'll handle these blokes. You cross to the jungle with him while I cover you.
Leonard, I'm ordering you. Put me down and...
That's checked them. That's checked them. Hurry, Algy. What about you? I'm all right. Make my own way back after you. Get Marling clear.
Sorry about your second wound, Major. You're having a bad time. But I'm jolly glad to have you clear. So you comfortable in that bunk?
Perfectly, thanks. You know, your fellows are a pig-headed lot of blighters, Bigglesworth. They would not do as I told them. Confounded young idiots may have all been killed.
I think it was the pig-headed one that we rescued, Papa.
My word, yes. You're right there, Lala. You know, even with 2 wounded legs, you took some carrying, Major. Why, I mean to say, a couple of times I considered landing one on your chin to keep you quiet.
Well, if you tried that, you landed one right back, young fella. Yes. Still use my fist, you know. But don't think I'm not grateful. I'm dashed proud to be associated with you chaps, by George. It was the thought of causing you to be killed that made me, well, thanks anyway.
Yes, well, exactly. Well, if everyone's finished licking their wounds, we'll get underway. I don't like the idea of staying these waters while the destroyers are afloat. Right, Ayat, start up. Let's get back to Dolphin Island.
Now that my holiday's over, you'd better bring me up to date, Biggles. What's the situation at Dolphin Island?
Peaceful, I should hope. Since you were shot down, we've developed the rubber shift into a smooth working operation.
Oh, good show.
Yeah. Tug, Bertie and Pat have been shuttling backwards and forwards to Singapore almost constantly.
Oh, I say, you did take Tug on, did you?
Oh, yes.
Good,
Yes, rather. I wouldn't miss that. I grabbed him and put him to work immediately. And between them, they've accounted for quite a swag of the rubber. It's very pleasing. Because there was the trouble with the Sumatran, which discounts that.
Oh, is that so? Well, tell me, what's happened to the Sumatran? I gather she's been lost or something.
We loaded her with 2,000 tons of rubber. Lai Chai took her off to Singapore. Unfortunately, she ran into trouble not far south of here, and I'm very much afraid we can write her off.
Trouble, eh? But what sort of trouble, Biggles? I'm sure the naval ships didn't run into her.
No, I don't think that, but a merchantman did. The Tug and Bertie saw her in the bay of a small island. There was another ship beside her, and they seemed to be grappled together.
Oh, yes.
And the rebels must have an armed merchantman operating in the area.
Oh, gosh, I say, that's awfully bad luck, isn't it? I mean, it'll break Lai's heart to lose his ship to the rebels.
Tuan, oh, bicara.
All right.
Awas, Tuan, jalan, piggy lakas, Tuan.
Now, get off your chest, Ayad.
Dolphin Island close, I think trouble. Oh, tidak bagus trouble there, Tuan.
I see. Trouble? No. Sounds as if I was wrong. All right, coming, Ayat. Now then, Ayat, what's all this about trouble? What's happening? I can make out the island, but I can't see anything wrong.
Oh, Tuan, tidak bagus. Bicara umum kosong. Awas, look, in the bay. See big shadow. Big shadow in the bay.
Yes, by Jove. Looks like a ship moored there.
Yeah, him Sumatran.
The Sumatran? The rebels have the Sumatran.
Maybe rebel have her, maybe rebel bring her back here, Tuan.
Yes, by Jove, that's about it. And with all our forces away, they'd have no difficulty taking the island. All right, Ayat, steer clear of the bay and put ashore somewhere else. We may have another fight on our hands tonight.
Ayat swings down the helm and quickly steers the Lotus from danger. Have the rebels taken the island? Will Biggles be able to combat them with his depleted and weary force? Listen for the next thrilling chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Lotus is returning from Victoria Point. Aboard a Biggles small party of white men and Ayert's rather battered native commandos. As they approach Dolphin Island and a much-needed rest, Ayert calls Biggles to the deck. Ahead in the bay is the shadowy form of a ship. Ayert's keen eyes have recognized the Sumatran. Biggles at once orders him to steer away from it.
Why not we go close? Then maybe we have more fight.
Yes, we would if we went close. They'd hear us and open fire.
We go in quick time. Board here. Then Sumatran belong to us again. What you say, Tuan?
No. We've had enough fighting for one night. From now on, it's going to be rationed. Is there another bay on the island? Some place we can put ashore without being seen?
Yeah, little beach other side. Good anchorage. A long way from lake.
All the better. If the rebels are ashore, they'll be at the settlement by the lake. We don't want them to know we're here. All right, put into the beach and we'll plan a reconnaissance from there.
Men go short one. They're ready for fight.
Yet you don't seem to have grasped it. We aren't fighting until we've thoroughly reconnoitred the island. And even then, only if it's absolutely necessary. There's been enough bloodshed already.
If rebel take island, we take him back. Dolphin Island not belong rebel, belong like Chai.
Huh? Well, we weren't going to knuckle down to them, are you, Bigglesworth? If you let the island go without a fight, my opinion of you will definitely slip badly.
Of course he isn't going to let it go. You have some scheme in your mind, haven't you, Biggles?
The only scheme I have in mind is to prevent unnecessary slaughter. You all saw what happened at Victoria Point tonight.
Yeah, much kill, Marty, much fight. Oh, Bargus.
It was not Bargus. Over 20 of Lai's men were killed. Add those to the crew that were lost with the Sumatran, and you'll understand that too many of your friends have been killed, Ayat.
The casualties have been inevitable, Biggles.
Yes, some perhaps. But it's my responsibility to shift the rubber, not to send scores of innocent natives to their death. I feel I've already overstepped my mark. I'm going to be much more careful in future.
Even if it means losing the island and giving up the rubber operation?
Didn't you say Bertie and Tug were here? You don't mean you're going to let them slide?
I'm letting nothing slide. I'm merely trying to instill a spot of caution into your hot heads. The Sumatran's here, and there may be any number of rebel sailors and soldiers aboard. We have only a handful of tired and wounded men to combat them.
They fight, Tuan. They fight good.
Yes, there's no doubt of that. But if they go in against a stronger force, they'll be badly mauled. And that's what I want to prevent.
Then what are you going to do?
Leave most of the party here to rest, and a small group of us will push through the jungle and reconnoitre the settlement. If there's a chance of retaking it, we'll carefully plan our attack so that it'll be as inexpensive as possible. And we'll attack only if there's a reasonable certainty of success.
Suppose there isn't?
Well, if there isn't, we'll try to rescue Tug and Bertie, and then clear out. We'll report to Scotland Yard that our force isn't strong enough to handle the rubber against such odds. Now then, will you and Lalla take charge of things here until we come back, Major?
Yeah, certainly. What do you want done?
Well, your hardest task will be to keep the natives from following us and raising a rumpus. I want them to stay here until I send for them. And if they will, I suggest they grab the opportunity to rest.
That'll be all right, old man. I know how to handle these fellows.
Right. Now, you and Jens will come with me, Algy, and Ayat can act as guide. We'll push straight through to the lake, and then it'll depend on the enemy. Right, hold it, fellows. We We won't push into the open until we're sure it's safe.
Seems quiet enough. Most of the hut lights are out.
I think you're wrong about the attack, Biggles. If we could get our blokes here quickly, we could raid the place while they're asleep. They'd never know what struck them.
We'll finish our recce before making any decisions. There are still lights in the bungalow, so someone is still awake.
I wonder where they've put Tug and Bertie. I'd like to pull them out before we do anything else.
We'll try the bungalow. Ginge, you and I ought stay here in case something happens to us. If we don't come back in, say, 15 minutes, it'll be in your hands.
Roger. We'll be here in the edge of the jungle if you need us.
Right. Come on, Algy. You'll see why those lights are still burning.
It's the living room, isn't it, on the centre of this side?
Yes. The rebel leaders are probably making themselves comfortable before turning in. Oh, I wish the house weren't built on piles. It's going to be difficult to reach that window up there.
I think I can just grab that sill if you gave me a leg. Come right underneath.
All right.
This too? Fine. Right. Up you go. I'll have to climb on your shoulder. Steady.
All right. I'm right.
Suffering cats.
What is it?
Let me down, quickly.
What did you see?
Tug and Bertie are there, and Lai Chai.
Lai Chai? The rebels must have brought him with them. Is there a guard in the room?
I didn't see one. There were just the three of them sitting round the table talking.
And they must be imprisoned in the bungalow. In that case, the guards will be most likely by the doors. Algy, I don't want to start a large-scale scrap. There's no reason why we shouldn't pull the blokes out by ourselves.
I'll be in that. Just say the word.
The huts are quiet now. In fact, everyone seems to be asleep except the blokes in the bungalow. What's to stop us marching straight up to the sentry, donging him on the head and picking up the fellows?
Nothing at all. It's so simple it must work.
Right. All we need is the element of surprise. Right now, cut the talk. We'll sneak round to the front door and see where the guard is standing.
There's no sign of him out here, anyway.
Right. Come on. Up to the veranda. Maybe in the shadows there. Very quietly.
No, he isn't. The door's wide open. He must be inside.
All right. If he's fool enough to invite us in, keep close behind me. Have your gun ready.
That's funny. There's no one in the hall.
He left his post for some reason. That's what's happened. We'll go straight through to the blokes. But be ready for action, Algy. The blighter may come back. Righto, chaps. Cut the talk and come with us.
Oh, sizzling sausages. It's the old Lord and Master. What ho, Albine? How did the rumpus
Keep
go?
your voice down, you idiot. The sentry may come back at any minute.
Sentry? What sentry is this, Biggles?
Why, the chap guarding you here. He's slipped off for some reason, but...
I say, come and sit down for a moment, you poor old sausage. These tropic moons are dashed hard on the old noddle, what? Or did someone crown you during the scrap?
There's no sentry here. What are you talking about, Biggles?
No sentry? You mean... But aren't the rebels here?
If they are, they have hidden themselves in the jungle. I have seen none since I returned.
But the Sumatran... We thought she was in enemy hands.
Bertie told me of this conjecture. It was so wrong. The Sumatran has returned for another load of rubber. Nothing more.
That ship we saw grappled with the Sumatran wasn't a rebel at all. She was a British tub. She was taking over the rubber so that Lai could come back for another load. Jolly good show, what?
I'm afraid I still don't understand, but why did she take your rubber? And how did you come to meet up with the British ship?
It was rather that the British ship met up with us. Your naval authorities at Singapore had sent her to meet us, so that we could save much time in the removal of the rubber.
You can trace the whole bally business to the Lissies, needless to say. A couple of trips back, we contacted the naval bods in Singapore and gave them the approximate time the Sumatra would be leaving. And they, bless their salty old hearts, looked after the rest.
This is funny, you know. Here we've been sneaking through the jungle, expected to be jumped on at any minute, and literally holding Ayat back from the attack, when all the time there was no one here but these clots.
Yes. Well, just the same, I think we'd better tell Ayat the news before he and his natives become too restive. Algy, will you slip back to Ginge? He can join us and send Ayat to bring the lotus round.
Oh, 20 the bar goes, sir. No, like, they go long time, Twan. Maybe Maybe Ayat find them?
No. You stay where you are, Ayat. You stay where you are. Biggles said to give him 15 minutes. And we're going to give him 15 minutes. You'll have to curb your impatience for quite a while yet.
That one. Like, Ayat not like this. Wait. Ayat, a good fighting man. Barkos with Parang. Ayat like
Quiet.
fight.
Quiet. There's someone coming through the jungle.
Not worried, one. Prince Lala, he come.
Oh, so he does. Well, what are you doing here, Lala?
I have come as quickly as I could. Where is the inspector?
The inspector? He's gone across to the bungalow. What's wrong?
It is the natives. After you left, they grew restless. They say they will not wait for your return, but plan to attack the rebels themselves.
Attack the rebels themselves?
Yes.
What the fools! Didn't your father explain to them?
Oh, they would not listen to him. He sent me ahead to warn the inspector, but I fear they are following.
They are. And they aren't being too quiet about it either. Ayat, go and stop those chaps. Tell them to wait.
Oh, yeah, Tuan. I meet them, but not wait. Ayat, wait too long. Now we have men we fight, much kill, Marty, Barkos. Oh, yeah.
Ayat! Don't be such an idiot, Ayat! This will wreck everything.
Ginger doesn't know how much may be wrecked. The island is in friendly hands, and many innocent lives will be lost if this attack takes place. Can Ginger and Lala halt the natives? Be sure you're listening to the next exciting chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Air Adventures of Biggles. To his surprise and delight, Biggles finds that not only are there no rebels on the island, but that Lai Chai himself brought the Sumatran back. While he is discussing this with his friends in Lai's bungalow, Ginger, waiting in the jungle, is disturbed by the activities of Ayat's unruly pirates. Ignoring Marling's orders to wait for Biggles' return, they have come to the settlement intent on raiding it and throwing out the rebels they believe to be in occupation. Ginger and Lala try to persuade Ayat to hold his men, but that restless individual is all in sympathy with them.
Ayat! For Pete's sake, shut them up. They'll wake everyone on the island with their row.
Oh, it is no use. He is inciting them.
I'll put a stop to that. Ayat! Stop jabbering and listen to me.
No time, Tuan. We start fight.
Don't be a fool. Wait.
Ayat, wait long time. No more wait.
Oh, that finishes it. Absolutely finishes it.
We shall never stop them now.
I don't know what Biggles will say. We'd better find him.
What's going on? What the blazes are those natives doing?
They're attacking, whether we like it or not. We couldn't stop them. Ayat's as bad as the rest.
But there's no one here to attack. The rebels haven't taken the island at all.
What?
If they go to those huts, they'll slaughter their own friends.
But surely they'll recognize them.
In the dark and in that mood, there's going to be a tragedy here unless they're stopped.
But we can't stop them. Oh, where's Biggles? Perhaps he can do something.
He's in the bungalow. He'll know what's happening soon enough, but I'm hanged if I can see what he can do.
What in the blazes is going on?
I say it sounds as if the jolly old Battle of Waterloo's started, what?
By Jove, that's about it. The natives...
They are not natives. Their faces are white. They're ghastly white. I can see them through the window.
Good grief, those swine are attacking the settlement. Grab some guns, quick.
No, wait. Those are your men, Lai.
My men? But the white faces?
Those were painted on for the raid. They think the rebels are here and they're attacking. If they reach the huts...
If they reach the huts, there will be slaughter. Excuse me, please. This I must stop.
You know, it might be an idea to have the old fireworks handy. I mean to say, if the blighters barge in here before Lie barges into them, it might be rather messy, what?
No. Only need a false move to set this situation alight properly. A shot out of place would be just the thing.
But the trouts are oozing this way, old bean. Dash it, if you don't treasure your jolly old neck, Harriet and I have a profound affection for ours. Look at the way Ayert's waving that beastly parang about.
It's all right, Lie's reached them.
But he's being swallowed in the belly rush.
No, look, he's grabbed Ayert. Oh, well, between them they should be able to hold them.
They're doing it. Sizzling sausages, they're doing it. Harriet, old dear, they're shouting the blighters down. Give them a toot to spur them on their merry way.
Betty, hold it! You confounded idiot! You've started them again. They'll probably think the place is full of devils and go raving mad now.
Oh, I say, we'll soon put a stop to that. Lie! Ayert! Bring the trouts down here!
Is he crazy? Someone will throw a knife if he shows himself at the window.
Bertie!
Yes, that's the way, my children. Gather round and give ear to Uncle Bertie. Now then, see this nifty little gadget? This is Harriet, the maker of the sweetest sounds on earth. And you shall be treated forthwith to an exhibition thereof. Now, close your mouths, open your belly ears, and listen.
It was really very funny. They thought that Lord Lissy was the greatest joke they had ever seen.
I've thought that for years.
Quiet, Clot. Lie was casting a well-deserved compliment. And casting it before swine, if I may say so.
Well, it certainly changed their mood for them. We were on the outskirts of the crowd, and when he started blowing the stupid thing, the natives forgot all about their fight.
It was well that it happened. When I came amongst them, they were excited and bewildered. They did not understand what was happening. It is doubtful if Ayert and I could have controlled them, had not that noise distracted their attention.
Noise? Here, I say.
Good on you, Lie. Your ear for music is perfect. That's the best description of Harriet I've heard yet.
We Lissies will accept insults for ourselves, but for a hurt to Harriet, we demand satisfaction. Put up your fist, Ginge, and prepare for death.
All right. There'll be no more fighting tonight. And this time I mean it. It's almost dawn. I couldn't stand any more excitement.
Dawn? Sizzling sausages, we're taking off at dawn, Tug. What do you mean by fooling around like this when there's work to be done?
I say, Tug, is your kite loaded?
She was loaded during the night. Bertie and I planned to take off as soon as it's light.
That's what you wanted, isn't it, old trout? For me to burble down to Singapore with him and pick up another freighter.
Yes, that's right. Keep the rubber moving no matter what happens. And that applies to the Sumatran too, Lie. Will you have her loaded at once?
Loading has already commenced. I hope to leave by tomorrow morning.
Splendid. Oh, we may have a break now that we've given the rebels a bit of a hiding. We'll take advantage of it and put every available man on the job. Algy and Ginge, you can fly down with Bertie and pick up a couple more kites.
What I want to pick up more than anything else is sleep. Oh, well, I suppose we can take it in turns, Algy, eh?
Yes, so sleep on the way down, that'll be right. We'll be doing pretty well with 5 of us on the job. Pat's on the run now, isn't she?
Yes, that's right. Should be back this morning. But that's what I want. All of you carrying rubber all of the time. We'll break only when it's necessary. Well, now, the sun's coming up, so off you go. This is Major Marling, Pat, and Prince Lalla, I think you've met.
Oh, how do you do, ma'am? I've been wanting to meet you. Extraordinary job you'll pick for yourself.
Working with Biggles and the gang? Why?
All this danger and excitement.
Well, I must say, Biggles, I'm disappointed in this assignment. It's the dullest I've had yet.
Dull? These midnight attacks and the fighting against great odds dull? What sort of a woman are you?
I'm not bloodthirsty, if that's what you're thinking. I haven't seen much of the fighting. While you've been enjoying yourselves, I've been flying backwards and forwards between here and Singapore, with no more thrills than an occasional struggle with a storm. I'm growing fat and uninteresting, Biggles. If you don't liven things up for me, you'll have a frump on your hands.
Oh, I say, I'm not afraid of that, Pat.
Would a trip to Shanxi break the monotony for you, Miss Kendall?
My word, it would. That's what I want, Biggles, a break away from the shuttle service. Then I'll go back to the run fresh and happy.
Now, listen, wait a minute.
I think Miss Kendall has disposed of your arguments against our return, Inspector.
Oh, she's wiped them completely. I quite understood that you couldn't be spared to fly us across, but now there's a spare pilot.
Yeah, now, hang on. Pat isn't a spare. In an hour or two, she'll have a plane load of rubber to fly to Singapore.
The Gosling's here, isn't it? I could fly that to Shanxi and back and still be ready before my kite's loaded.
Oh, dear, you're all against me, aren't you? I told you, Major, I don't like the idea of your going back. You have wounds in both legs, and...
Yeah, and I've told you that they aren't serious. I feel much better after some sleep, and I can even hobble about a bit. My place is at Shanxi, and I insist on returning there.
I want to make the trip, of course, but isn't Shanxi in rebel hands?
And the Major thinks the rebels may have cleared out since we flooded it. We've been arguing about it all morning.
And even if the rebels are still in occupation, my father and I would like to be landed on the river so that we may hide in the jungle until such time as we can retake our property. You see, it is our home.
Of course I see. Biggles, you can't refuse them.
Between you, you're determined that I'll do no work this morning. All right, I can't withstand 3 of you. Take the amphibian, Pat, and fly them home as fast as you can. But watch out for the rebels. They'll be licking their wounds this morning, and they'd love to get their hands on us. All right, take the marlings, but see you come back safely yourself.
I'd set your course a little to the north of this, my dear. Otherwise, you'll fly directly over Victoria Point. I doubt if Bigglesworth would approve of that.
Neither would I. I'm not so keen on excitement that I want to fly into an aerial fight without being equipped for it. What a lot of boats there are down there. I'd no idea this part of the coast was so busy.
Well, it isn't normal, eh? I've been curious about that activity myself. Yes, indeed. They're all native craft, of course. But there are so many of them that it seems as if every boat in the district is on the move.
And they're all heading the same way. Would that be to Victoria Point?
Yes, looks like it. That's the direction they're taking. I wonder if this is some new devilry of fire tax.
Danger or not, we're going to find out. We needn't fly over Victoria Point, but if we swing back to our original course, we'll be able to approach it and, well, then perhaps we'll be able to see...
I wouldn't advise that, my dear. Aren't those planes I can see coming from the south?
Good heavens, yes. They're fighters. 3 of them.
Then we'd better change course quickly, in the other direction. If those planes see us, none of us will get home again.
Pat swings to the north and desperately tries to think of a way to escape the fighters. Has the amphibian been seen? Will Pat be forced into an unequal combat? Be listening for more excitement in the next thrilling chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.